Hello guys, welcome to Tutorial Verse. My name is Umar and today we will be creating a login form and signup form. These forms were created in HTML and CSS. There is no functionality. This is just for a good UI design that you can play around with. Let's get started. For this video, I will be using Sublime Text Editor. So here it is. What you want to do is on your desktop, create a new folder. I'm going to name mine Forms. And inside of my Sublime Text, I'm just going to go ahead and open that folder. So it's on my desktop, Forms. On the Forms, I want to right click, create new file. Control S to save this file inside of the Forms folder. I'm going to name it index.html. And then I want to go ahead and create another file. So right click, new file. Control S to save that file, and I'm going to name this one style.css, and this will be my style sheet that will be linked to this index.html. So if you want to get the HTML structure in Sublime Text, all you do is HTML and press tab, and it gives you everything. For the title, we're going to say login page. And so what else you want in here is a meta tag. It's usually a good practice to have it. Makes everything a little bit more responsive. So after you type that in there, you want to say name is viewport. Content is width equals to device minus width. And then write comma and write initial minus scale equals to 1. And basically, yeah, so it's just gonna make this whole web page a little bit more responsive. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna add the link tag and link it to my style sheet. And so I'm gonna put a div tag. Inside of the div tag, I'm going to put an h1 tag and say login. And after this div tag, I'm going to put another div tag. And inside of here, I'm going to create my form. Before I get to the form, I'm going to give this a class of login, my title. And I'm going to give this a class of login form. So inside my form, I want to have an input. And this is going to be a type of email. We don't need this name. Placeholder is going to be email. So that's what it is for now. I'm going to Control S to save it. I'm going to go into my style.css and I'm going to say body. I want all of my body to be uppercase. I'm just going to transform it to uppercase. I want the letter spacing to be 0.1 em, and I'll just save that. This is good. I'll zoom in a little bit for you guys and right click, open in browser. So you can see that now I have it easier for you guys to see. So what we can do is we can start by styling my title. So I can say my title and give it a font size of 40 pixels. And we can give it a padding of 10 pixels. And we can say text align to center. So that's what it looks like so far. And for my login form, we could do .log form. And we could say font size 25 pixels. Give it a width of 400 pixels, say padding of 5 pixels. We should give it a border of 2 pixels, solid black. Give it a margin top of 10 pixels. And yeah, so let me just save that, reload. So that's what it looks like so far. So I will actually create another div. So I will say div and give this a class of my input. Close that div before the form. So save that here. I'll go back here. I'll say my input. And over here I could say login form text align center. So if I save that now, so it centered the whole input. Okay. So what I could do next is I could just copy this div, paste it here, change this to password, change placeholder to password. Now if I save it and reload, so this is what it looks like so far. Now what I also want to do is I want to create another div. Give this div a class of my check, and inside here create an input. The type is checkbox. There's no name, and just right outside of the input just type keep me logged in. Now if I save that, that's what it looks like. What I could say in my style over here is form my, called it my check, and I could say padding top 10 pixels. So give it a little bit of padding. I'll actually say 20 pixels. Okay, and then next we have to create a button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this div here with the class of my input. Change this type to a submit. Submit is a type of button. And instead of a placeholder, we're going to have a value. Value is basically like giving it a name. I'm going to say login. And if I save that, and that's what it looks like so far. Now, what I want to do next is give this an ID of my btn, and I'm just gonna save it and go to my style, and I just like giving it a color. So I save that. So it changed color there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it a padding. Say 10. No, I'll say 5 pixels. 0, 5 pixels. 0. Save it. Reload. So top and bottom. And I'll get rid of this blue. So as to save it. I just want to show you guys that if you create an ID, you could go ahead and change the color that way. Also, now we have to add a, so underneath the form, just create another header h1, and we could say if you don't have an account, you could go to the sign up page, and this word sign up is actually going to be a link to our next page. The name is going to be signup.html, and I'll close the a tag. And now that I save this, I have this over here. I think h1 is probably too big. We'll bring it down to maybe h5. Save it. So yeah, that looks a little bit better. Yeah, so if you click it, it's just gonna go nowhere. And that's what we have so far for the login. Now we'll create the sign up page. Okay, so to create a sign up page, we're gonna go here, right click, new file, Control S to save the file, and we're gonna call it signup.html. And then we're basically just gonna copy this whole thing, bring it over, and change this name to sign up page, change this to sign up. Sign up, and instead of having a checkbox here, we're gonna have another password, and this time it's gonna be called confirm password. And also, just before the email, because this is a sign up, we will require a text, and we'll say full name. So if I save that and right click, open in browser, that's what it looks like. So we just want to change this bottom area. Instead of don't, we will say already have an account. Yes. Then just go to login. And now that is our login and sign up. You can see that login is here. Click this, you go to sign up. You can go back and forth as much time as you want. Yeah, so once you are ready and understand HTML, CSS, and you're diving into PHP, I would suggest you could follow this tutorial. And if you don't know HTML or CSS, I'll add a link in the description, and you could go and watch those, or watch anybody else, whatever you like. And yeah, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.